done stuff like this?
No, not at all.
I don't know.
It's about time I got out of my comfort zone.
Comfortable being uncomfortable.
I spent my whole life trying to get comfortable.
Really? And then you've got the 2 minutes. That's
It's been my goal.
Get cosy though. I can see you don't know how to sit.
Does that look uncomfortable?
No, yeah, are you comfy?
Yeah, I'm comfy.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, I'm comfy.
As long as you're comfy. So, yeah, she cozy.
Ish.
I love it. So what I'll do, I'll just do a little intro, and then we literally just have a chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the time. Right. This is honestly, so this is the one I've been most nervous for. Because you know me as well, so I can't even pretend to be comfortable. Right. So, welcome back everybody to episode 8 of the LA Golf Channel podcast. I can't believe we're on episode 8. And today we've got the gentleman that knows my golf swing better than anybody. He's probably become one of my closest mates in golf, one of my closest mates off the course as well. We chat about everything. This is probably going to be one of the most fun and I'm most nervous for. We've got with me John Styles.
Hello.
How you doing?
Out my comfort zone.
I'm honestly so happy.
I feel roles have been reversed here. I feel like I'm under the gun. Go on, but yeah.
Well, I've been trying to tease this for a while, John, throwing the camera on in the lessons.
Yes.
And you've been
conscious of it.
I could tell that when you were doing it, at first there was a different, like, we were definitely more professional in them. And then you're just like, shut up, Lee, crack on.
Yeah, you forget about it eventually.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's good. But what I was, again, most nervous for, you've been, probably, like I say, one of the most influential people in my game. It's been awesome, super welcoming. And we've also had some great times on the course. And I guess for me, really, the big question, it's always the easy one with golf. Where did it start for you?
Yeah, the dark days of municipal golf. Barham Park.
Yeah,
that's when it was rough.
Okay.
When you were playing around burning cars and stuff. And I finally progressed to Allerton, which was a bit of a step up.
Yeah, it was nice, Allerton, wasn't it?
My dad played, and I kind of was eventually welcomed to play with him.
I was going to say there was a bit of you have to qualify to play with your dad, wasn't there?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, you had to, he said, oh, you're not good enough to play with him. Within about 6 months of playing with him, you realise, you're not that good, Dad. But yeah, it was like, and then we finally moved. Allerton was great, loved it.
Yeah.
You know, really learned so much, and then got the job in West Derby.
Okay.
Where I actually played some decent courses for the first time.
Yeah.
And then got on with a great crew at West Derby.
Really?
You know, loved every 6 years, every minute of it.
Yeah, so I think so. The shop that fantastic to me and where you work, Sweet, when they got the shop at West Derby, weren't you part of the person who put the walls up?
Yes, the original slat walls, which doesn't say much for what the pros have done since, because it was whatever.
Listen, if it's not broke,
yeah,
and you can turn your hand to some woodwork, to be fair, so I'd back that.
Yeah, at least it stood the test of time.
Okay, but just before West Derby, I think that even this is bits I don't actually know as well. You're beating your dad.
Yeah.
You've gone to Allerton playing a nice course, beating your dad. Where did the I'm quite good at this feel come from?
I never felt it was good, because I seem to be always playing with guys who are better than me.
Okay.
Which is always a great place to be.
Yeah, it's probably why you were progressing so quickly.
You know, I just got beaten, but then you look back and you think, yeah, they were pretty good, you know, and at the stage, the lads I was playing with, when I was playing off 9, they were playing off 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, that's what I've got to be. And it was only probably when I went to West Derby, when you looked around, you think, okay, I'm in the top, 10% of all the players here.
Yeah.
But I've probably always had that feeling of not being as good as the people. When I went to Germany, they were so much better.
Okay.
They played with 3 guys that come off Australian tour. One was +5 handicapper, one of the best Australian amateurs. You know, he played European tour.
Yeah.
So again, just got beaten every night, but you kind of, and then went to a few competitions with other pros. Yeah. But I never had that feeling where I was good, which, you know, you need.
Yeah, okay.
To be a top pro, you need to stick your chest out and go, I'm proper good.
Yeah.
But so, it was a gradual process.
What do you think was like, without going deep, what do you think made you just think that you weren't good? Because they were just so good that you were like, oh.
Yeah, just happened to be surrounded by guys
better.
Who were much better. And when I jumped from... Allison was okay, but there was never one of the club champs there. You know, there was always a guy that was slightly better than me.
Yeah. Do you remember him? Because we can go and hunt him down now.
Originally, Mike Murphy, yeah.
Was it?
But
okay.
you had a lot of good pros who came out of there. Paul Howard, one of the local pros.
Yeah, Paul Howard. Paul speaks about Paul Howard, doesn't he? Was that the one?
You've got the Paul Howard from Southport who played SNA, but Paul Howard who became a pro, friend of mine, good friend of mine.
Right, okay.
Sean Bailey, other lad, good pro. Yeah, there's a lot of good players came out of there.
It's nice that you kept putting yourself up against that, I guess.
Yeah. You know, so I was never in a comfort zone. And when it got decent, I even won like a big pro-am house in Germany.
Yeah.
But, you know, your evenings when you go out with the other pros and they're shooting like 500-600 under every round. Yeah, and I think that's probably why I went down the teaching route.
Is this why we get on, by the way? We're both quite sick. Just play better people than us all the time.
Yeah, and now, you know, all I play with mainly is Paul, who I've taught for years. He's a great young pro. He smashes it. And
he hits the ball too far.
Hits the ball too far and shoots on the par, and now he's beating me.
Yeah.
So, really I'm still waiting. I play against you a few times.
That's the ego boost, isn't it? Yeah, just
you are going to beat me. I can see it. It's coming.
I think we had this conversation on the course once, didn't we?
Yeah.
I asked, will you be proud the day if it comes? Like,
yeah, it will.
And you went, no, I want to beat you.
No, I'll be gutted. I'll be devastated.
Listen, you've done your job. That's a good thing.
No, it's an ego thing. It's just... I used to stand in that bay, and I see it now. You know, most guys who came through that door, I was like, oh, better than these, and now I'm getting more guys, and fair play, they're getting better.
You definitely still get the ball round, though. Don't be doing yourself a disservice.
Get it round.
There's one thing that you mentioned a couple of the other pros do. One thing I noticed with Paul, they get a lot of birdies and go on the pot. Have you ever been a proper in the red player? Were you good at getting birdies?
More fairways and greens.
Just a real consistent golfer.
Consistent, keep it in play. Never a great putter, which you kind of have to be to make a lot of birdies. You know that now, don't you?
Yeah.
They look good, but they don't go in.
I've never seen someone roll the ball so well consistently and them not drop it. So unfair.
It's just luck.
That you burn them. It's genuine bullying at this point. Because you've burnt more edges than I've ever seen. But...
I know. And the idea is like, oh, it looks like a good putt.
Yeah,
they don't go in.
Yeah, end over end every time though.
I know, and short stuff's not bad, but those 20 footers, I think you're just born to hold things over 20 foot.
Some people have got it, haven't they?
Yeah. People go through runs like Spieth went through that run where he was 30, 40 footers every few holes, and just it's weird.
Again, that's probably all this is tying into why we get on so well. We were saying before, I'm not a one putter, but I'm not a three putter. I two putter almost everything.
Yeah.
Very boring golfer on the green.
Boring golf's good.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. It was not boring enough yet.
Yeah.
But you hinted that you were in Germany. So what led you to go to Germany?
It was kind of a natural progression from a lot of the pros in those days.
Really?
Germany was booming. In England, there wasn't that many jobs, and as soon as we got PGA qualified, it was like, right, let's go and see the world, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, and I got lucky, got invited across to Stuttgart and stayed there for over 10 years and loved every minute of it. It was an amazing place, amazing country, different, you know, but it got you to meet all these people around the world, give you a bit more of a wider view on life.
It's funny, I couldn't imagine the young pros that we know doing it for that reason. They'd be very much probably the journey I'm doing, a bit more on camera and documented.
But that seems to be more the natural progression. But, you know, to learn another language.
Yeah.
A lad from Highton to just say broaden his horizons. It was brilliant.
Well, I've been subject to you learning that language a few times.
Occasionally I dropped the German word in.
German word. There was a 5-minute lesson when I was early on, and I was like, right, I'm not very good at golf. But what you're saying definitely doesn't make sense, and I know what these words should be. It was all German.
I never really taught over here. When I was in West Derby, I did a bit, but not to the extent of when we were in Germany. It was all day long, and I learned to teach in German and still think in German occasionally. And when I came back, it was like I have to relearn your kind of pattern and how you speak to people.
I love that.
Yeah.
What was the game like over there? Was it different?
Standard wasn't great.
Oh, really?
It was a new sport.
Okay.
You know, and you would stand on the range over there in those days, and if you were hitting balls, you'd probably get a crowd eventually just like, wow.
Yeah.
Goes in the air. It's amazing. Look at him. It doesn't top anything. Yeah. And then like you get like we came across and they were like, and you were put on a pedestal. You're up with doctors and things. You know, over here it's a bit tenth a penny a pro, but over there it was like, wow, you're a pro.
That's incredible, that isn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. But hopefully they're a lot better now. You know, most of our job was getting them the Platzreife, the license to play, which is essentially just a 54 handicap. That's all they had to play for and learn the etiquette and rules and stuff.
I was about to say, so what was the minimum of that? So what was the name of it, sorry?
Platzreife.
Platzreife. Because Norman, who was on, I mean, you've spoke about this a lot, this was a card that said you were allowed on the golf course?
Yeah, allowed to play.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
a very German thing.
Do you know what? I'm the least controversial person, but I actually don't hate that.
No, it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
You know, look, the playing standard, we weren't too fussed, and it was more about kind of pace of play, not leaving your bag on the wrong side, and just the obvious stuff. But everybody went on the golf course had that basic requirements, which is great. You know, you didn't get a load of lads throwing clubs to each other, and so it'd be great over here to get something like that, I think.
That's definitely something, because obviously I'm a generation where we've all, I don't know how many people have taken up golf. Someone who was on last week said it's the fastest growing sport in the world.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And you've got so many people coming into this game that probably don't know. Rake in a bunker, okay. So I used to pull the rake and you would end up with clumps of sand. I never knew you meant to push it. Yeah. Like, it's so small, so obvious when you know it. Didn't know that.
If you're brought up and your dad's on you all the time to do this and that other, is second nature.
Yeah.
But, you know, you go down the range and there's loads of lads at the age of 20 taking it off, smashing balls. And that's generally how they're starting on the range now. They come with the driver.
Yeah.
Smash it miles, and then they've got to learn actually how to play. But they'll jump on a course and not know the stuff. Which it's in their own interest to learn that. But just the basic stuff and good pace of play. Yeah,
well, pace of play is always a fun one, isn't it?
Yeah. That's again, controversial a little bit. It used to be 3 hours, but now it's 4 hours.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, 4 hours I'll accept.
I think we've had some nice 4 hours, but sometimes you can have a slow 4 hours. Like, it's funny, isn't it? Some days it feels like, bloody hell, 4 hours.
If there's no one in front, it should be 4 hours.
Yeah,
you know,
just get moving.
Without wasting too much time, and that's getting to your ball quick without running ahead. But that's taking your time. You know, zapping it with your laser. But it's just how you perform on the course as regards etiquette and stuff. Where you leave the bag. Not all of you going to one ball.
Well, Paul, yourself, and I, we would go on the course. We'll do 4 hours. We're still talking. There's no. We don't feel like we miss each other's company at all. And that's the bit where the compromise has to come from people. Like, I play with faster paced walkers and slower paced walkers. No one's over the top over the ball. But that can be the bit where if you compromise that with each other, you stop getting on each other's nerves a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, there's definitely that. And maybe sometimes ready golf, you know, not always going to the who's got the honour and stuff. And there's ways of doing it. There's nothing worse than a 5.5 hour round when you're waiting on every shot.
It's
not conducive to good golf.
No, it's tough, that. And that's just a day where you can be having a horrendous day. Just don't even make it worse for yourself. Just pick it up and move on. Or just let the people behind you through.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than getting pressure behind, especially if you've got space in front. Just let them through.
As an etiquette thing, actually, it's a bit off subject. 1s and 3 balls, do they have no standing on the golf course?
Really,
no. So if a 1 ball's behind a 4 ball and they're standing, modern etiquette would say just let them through. But what would traditional games say?
You got no standing as a singleton on a course.
Yeah.
No, the old days.
That's mad, isn't it?
I mean, look, the problem is if you've got 5 guys all playing by themselves, you know, you're one through and the next one.
The stud, I understand that.
You know, it's easier. Just let that guy through. He's one person, so he'll be quick going through. And let him through. It's a bit of common sense in that, really.
There's definitely, that's the generational thing for sure. I've been behind, because I play a lot of golf on my own, just with travelling with work. And I remember being stood behind a 4 ball, and I'd seen no one was out before them, but they wouldn't let me just jump out in front of them on the first. And I stood till the 5th. At one point, I just saw the 7th. I was like, right, I'll just jump over there and miss a hole. Like,
common sense.
It can be, can't it?
Common sense cures a lot. You know, it does.
It
really does.
So when you were over in Germany, was the wife there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been right from the start.
Class that, innit? Yeah. So there's something I tried to make a point of in all this, and the unsung heroes in a golfer's life is their wife.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But always supportive whenever I wanted to play. Germany, you know, she got a degree, I got my PJ, but it was like, come on, let's go and see the world, which was more about my job than hers.
Yeah. That's class. So what was she doing over there?
typical. My wife, she just said, "Oh, I'll just take a part-time job." Next thing you know, she's going up through Hewlett Packard she worked for.
Yeah.
And doing really well, getting other jobs. Yeah.
Special human, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she's a special human, to be fair.
Yeah. They broke the mould.
I love it. And so your daughter was born there as well?
Yeah. First 5 years. At the age of 5, she could speak great German.
Wow.
Better, dialect and stuff.
Yeah.
And then just kind of lost it. Maybe
I was about to say, because obviously I know it. I was going to say, I might try and call her out on that, but she doesn't.
No,
nothing.
She went across the school in Liverpool, and then I think the first year she stuck her hand up, answered the question in flat out German. Obviously got a bit of stick.
Didn't go down well, yeah.
And that just scarred her.
Oh, right,
irrevocably. And that was it then.
Poor girl.
There was no more German. And I'm sure if she tried to learn it, it would come back.
Yeah.
Because like in kindergarten, she could speak it flat out.
Yeah. Wow, that's mad, isn't it?
It's a pity. But,
so what made you come back here then?
I think it was that time with Jess, my daughter. She was 5. It was either now we go into high school and so forth, or now or never.
Yeah.
And Sarah, as much as she had a job over there, she never worked in the industry. She got a degree, and it was like, and then she could get really kicked off over here with a career and so forth.
Yeah.
And family was the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good with the family, to be fair, aren't you?
It was the right choice in hindsight, but there's occasionally where we look back and we think, I should have stayed.
It's lifestyles are just so different over there, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. Where we were, South Journey, Stuttgart, it's real. There's a bit of a north-south divide, rich-poor, and it's a lovely area. Quite expensive.
Similar to this country, I guess.
Yeah, in a way. And it was a lovely area, Black Forest area. So yeah, I miss all that, miss the countryside.
Yeah.
Really, we lived on the golf course next to a forest, and you could mountain bike out your doorstep. Yeah,
that's
really
class.
good. It's not quite the same in Heighton.
Do you know what? I bet you, obviously you still love everybody in the area. There's something special about Heighton in a different way.
Yeah.
Very different way, isn't it? But
no, yeah. I wouldn't live anywhere else.
What? So the course that you lived near, what are their courses like compared to ours?
Yeah, manicured. They put a lot of money into them. But it was a rich man's sport. Yeah. Back in the day when I was there, wherever, 20 odd years ago, it was still like 15,000 to Eintrittsgeld entry money. It was like a share of the course, but you had to be almost a millionaire before you played golf.
Wow.
We did have an open course, a 9-hole open course, which we were trying to get just the normal people to play golf. Yeah. But I think it's still known as a bit of a rich man's sport over there,
that way. Because I was trying to think, can you off the top of your head think of any real big German golfers, current ones?
Yeah, there's a lot of young kids who've come through.
Yeah.
From the time we were at that, where we're teaching their mums and dads. Obviously Langer was the big one.
Yeah.
And he spawned a generation. But yeah, there's a lot of young, good Germans coming through. Yeah, definitely. Wow, okay. Yeah, like all in European countries.
Yeah. So what when you've come back here, and obviously like back home we having a bit of a laugh, but what was it like teaching? Because we don't have that card, so I guess that's a bit different.
You taught more of a mix. Where over there was a lot of beginners. It was a lot like, right, this is a golf club.
Okay.
And in a week we'll get you that license to play. But you get guys who have been playing for 20 years over here, playing off 10 or 11, which you have to be so careful with.
Really?
Yeah. The beginners, you can be a bit more brutal.
Yeah.
So, right, get it right in the beginning. It doesn't matter. We're not going to lose anything.
Yeah.
But you get a guy who's been playing a certain way for 20 years, you can't be coming in and go, right, we're going to rebuild your golf swing.
Yeah.
It's the classic lesson, isn't it?
Yeah.
And not even trying to take a step back, even though with yourself, someone like yourself who practices, who wants to do it right, you don't mind a little bit of a step back. But there's nothing wrong with quick fixing sometimes. A guy who's playing at the weekend needs just a little quick fix, needs to see straight away improvements, and that's what I am living from most of the time.
Yeah,
not trying to rebuild golf swings.
Well, I was good. That's something where enough people that I'm aware of have gone to. We're kind of getting into a little bit earlier, but there's a way to teach, and there's the new way to teach, and this is where I'd love to pick your brains on, because there's numbers, force plates, 14 cameras or one, and you make it a way that I can understand. I can speak to so many people about my golf swing in so many different ways and leave so confused so often. But when I speak to you or walk away from a lesson, I know, right, that's a thought. And that I ask a lot of questions, which is probably annoying you sometimes.
Not good.
But you walk away with a feel that you can go, right, that's my reference point.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on where modern coaching's kind of going?
I think it's my job to look at numbers and to absorb all the modern technology and then to translate it into something simple. You know, look, if you've been coaching that long, you can tell if a pat's 3 right or left. If someone's down on it.
Some can't, you know. I've played with people.
Spend your whole life just staring at golf swings. But then when TrackMan came in and you can correlate the numbers.
Yeah.
And you can see where someone's moving force and mass, but you can't be talking about that. You know.
At what point does that matter? Like, I mean, at what level do you have to get to? I understand Paul would look at that, but even that can be a problem sometimes.
It can be a problem where you can't take that onto a golf course. You know, there's a totally different golf swing and playing golf are 2 different things, which a lot of time people struggle when they're on the range all the time looking at numbers.
Yeah.
And then they go and try and play golf. But that's kind of the same. My job is to look at all these to you know, don't get me wrong, I'll watch the videos and go. It used to just be seminars, but but it's physics. It is based in physics, definitely. But then I have to translate into something that, you know, okay, I can understand that. Yeah. Simple. You can only really think of one thing in the golf swing, and you play your best golf when you're not really thinking too much more of the picture.
Yeah.
You know, and that's your ultimate goal. The goal with you is eventually you see the picture and you just execute without too much thought. Like throwing a ball, but
that's the big one, isn't it? Yeah. Just throw a ball. No, you've got a tough challenge with that one.
Just see and feel and do it. You know, but yeah, look, numbers are good in a way that you can identify. I think they're great for fitting, massive. But again, you know, do we want optimal numbers?
I guess what's it optimal for as well? That current swing that...
Yeah, look, you go for your optimal number where it's right on the limit. You hit your 7-9 170 at this ideal spin. You mishit that and it drops 30 yards out the air.
Yeah.
So a lot of tour players will play consciously they'll overspin stuff. So when they miss it, the drop-off's not as much. But if you've gone for your fitting and you think, oh yeah, that's 177.9 at 2,500 or whatever. It's, No. So you have to take the playing side into it. But yeah, I mean, the idea of the lessons, my job is to try and make it as simple as possible. Yeah. It really is.
You're definitely stuck with a basket case like me, because that conversation then about spin, I was trying to explain to someone the other day that I'm using the complete wrong equipment for myself, really, for the way I hit a golf ball. Well, I'm spinning my 7-9 8,000 revs, which is crazy. But I was like, but if I ever hit that poor, the space is so small for that. It's not going to jump. No. I'm very rare I'm going to under, unless I really hit a poor shot, which you've probably fat it's going to be short anyway. So I'm going to overspin. It's going to come shorter every time. I'm in control of what my ball's going to do most, except when I find that hosel. Sometimes optimal isn't the best.
No, you can't expect to be hitting that flush 7-9, which you remember 2 weeks ago in the sim. I got 180, and then you're standing there zapping 180, going, "Yeah, give me the 7-9." It's like, no.
Well, we've spoke about that with game improvements as well. I don't know if you want to speak about that a bit, but game improvements irons always helping because
no, and look, it's we still don't know enough about them. But they are saying at the moment sometimes at these hollow irons there's actually more dispersion. And it's a whole science lesson in itself. I won't go into that, but
my understanding of when we've spoke about it essentially is the drop-offs are lower. So if you hit it right, it's just going further right.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing with modern technology, and that's why you wonder handicaps have not improved that much over the last 20 years. And the ball used to come out the air at 200. Now it doesn't come out the air. It carries on going 250 because it's coming off the face so quick, and it's going in the trees. So you wonder if that was one of the reasons. The stat came out the other day that putting hasn't improved. It's actually dropped off on the PGA Tour.
I saw that.
Last 5 years, despite the advent of all aim points and all the math and everything involved.
It was a good chat. It was the guy who owns the lab. Sam the golf nerd, I think he calls himself. He was talking about that, and he said, granted, green speeds are probably a bit quicker, but not a lot, I believe. They're saying they're not considerably.
Probably not smooth. They used to be less smooth than they are now. Yeah, the boys, you watch them with the old boys, it used to bounce around.
Yeah,
so, that's counteracted by they are slick, but we ask most good pros and they'll say, yeah, slick as possible, please.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but they're saying that is the stats getting worse because of that. But I think ultimately they've gone potentially it's whole locations. But the main thing is that people have lost one big thing, or this was his takeaway essentially, was mallets are definitely helping people putt. They roll the ball better, but the fun and feel and the putting comps on a green, that's missed in the game. Yeah. You can study how you deliver a putter every single day. Yeah. I was speaking to a +2 golfer actually about this same thing. He went to a putter fitting, I think it was, and he had the Sam Lab, is it? Mm-hmm, Sam Lab on it. All his stats were red, and he holed 12 footers in a row. I mean, you can't tell me I can't putt. Yeah. I've just holed 12 putts. And
so Tiger would be the same.
Do you think? Yeah, with this, that's be awful.
Yeah, it would be. This idea, and he rolls the toe over and wasn't really doing what he felt a lot of the time. Yeah, definitely. But he saw a picture, and that's probably what's getting lost. People aren't seeing a picture. They're keeping the hole in the mind. It's all about, okay, am I inside? I'm 2 degrees here, but the picture of the hole where it is. Yeah. That's your last look. See it, feel it, do it again. And how many times you stood over a putt, think I'm going to hold this. You do. There's something in that.
I think we were speaking about aim points.
Yeah.
So aim points I think is good if you struggle to read the green, most definitely.
Yeah.
But I think I lost feel with it. I used to see genuinely a line on the floor. If the line was wrong, it was wrong sometimes, but probably a bigger pace issue for me. But sometimes you see that line, don't you? And it's like, like the old Tiger Woods games where you press to read it. Yeah. What are you? Do you see that?
When I'm putting well.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I'll try a few different things. You spot, the spot, but understanding apex and everything's tough because it's always further out than you. Yeah. And again, I think I'm going to go more just trying to see it and feel it and see the picture rather than think of the technique.
Okay, nice.
That's the goal. Yeah.
That's what we need to get you away from.
Get off putting.
yeah, that's fair.
You got to love it. Yes, I love to putt.
It's brutal in here. So
it is.
I guess where we're going horrible putting. Just quickly, Masters is en route.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any of the young boys have a go this year, do you think? Do you think like Joaquin Niemann, do you think he's going to pop up at some point? Will Penge be in it? Does he get him from being top 10 on DP?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, they do say historically that you need to play it quite a few times. But you think like you'd seen it that many times, you understand the course.
You'd like to think so, yeah. I feel like I know that course.
yeah, exactly. Even though you don't understand the undulations and that they always say, you can't appreciate them on the telly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is generally people who've played there a few times.
Who would you back this year?
That'd be telling, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, there's a big... it's always in...
Are you going to go Tiger?
No, certainly. And you got to look at someone outside the odds. Russell Henley always comes in. We always put money on. There's certain guys we'll always put money on.
Yeah.
They turn up on the Masters. Lehman was always one, but yeah.
Didn't Mickelson 2 years ago had a great run, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was he 5th or something?
Yeah.
Because 3 top 5 will live, I think.
No, of course, but probably if you go in there, the odds are going to be high on him.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to find. Someone who's going to finish in that top 10 who's 200 to 1 or something.
Yeah.
That's how you earn some money.
You and I need to maybe get a little majors draft going on between us. Yeah, should we get that going, actually? Yeah. We'll sort that afterwards.
Yeah. We won't mention the fancy football, but yeah.
Oh, no, don't. It's been brutal, hasn't it? I've not looked for a few weeks, and that's going to be my excuse.
You don't want to look at the weekends.
Yeah, I'm. To be fair, the more I look, the worse I am. It's shocking, isn't it? It's it's going to be scary, that one, but I'll try and stay away. I'm not sure. The Open at Birkdale, are you going to go and try and get down there?
Yeah, definitely going to go practice round, definitely have a look there. And then just for the occasion, when you go on the Thursday to Sunday, it's more the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But if you go on those practice days, you get a bit closer, have a look. So definitely I'll go, I think, on the Wednesday.
Are you going to do practice day?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I'm working the practice days. I'm going to do Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because that's the one.
I think I'd enjoy the practice days a lot more.
Yeah, a little bit up close, less crowds, but then it's because the big hoo-ha on the other days. Like last time at Liverpool, you don't see much.
When you say last time at Liverpool, just quickly on that, what did you think of how the fans were last time? There was controversy against who won? The little lefty Harmon. Did he get booed at spells?
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the crowds were more following, obviously, Tommy and Rory round, and I think there's maybe a bit at the end where it's like, oh, here comes the final group.
Yeah. He gets a hard time for being a bit slower on the ball and stuff, doesn't he?
He might have been a bit when he stands over the ball and does all his million practice swings, I'm sure, but
That
I
might
never
be where
heard
it's from.
any that many booze.
Right, okay.
It was just all go. Come on, Tommy, lad.
Yeah, do you think this could be the year? His game looks superb,
It
doesn't
does,
it?
and he's up there, and mentally he's got everything that he needs to play in it. It's just luck of the draw, and that week you on it. You know, literally, it has to be hole and putts like you do, and you need that bit of luck to win the Open.
Do you think there's something difficult about it being at home? Do you think he'll feel that pressure,
I think
or
he's
he'll
probably,
thrive?
hopefully, used to it now. He's been there, you know, every time it's home, and he's out. Yeah, hopefully it's an advantage.
I'd love to think so, but obviously we can't really comprehend. But yeah, there's also, I guess, Joan, I'd love to talk about your competing actually, but if you were ever in a comp and you're playing and you're probably in the zone, you see your family, there's almost like you've got to...
I mean, golf's different than any other sport where it's not like you're playing at Anfield with home advantage and you can really get into a tackle.
Yeah.
You can't throw yourself into the next drive.
That's fair, actually.
You have to keep that composure. Where, I'm sure he's just used to it and he can cope with anything now. You know, when you've been to Bethpage in the Ryder Cup, surely you can cope with. If you can cope with that, you can cope with anything.
Yeah, because that sounded brutal, didn't it?
It was proper brutal.
Yeah.
You know, the worst conditions to play golf in, where everyone's giving you a stick and that, and people want you to not perform. Yeah, I'm sure he's mature enough to just carry on playing his game, and hopefully it's his week.
Now, on that, where do you stand on how fans? So I'd probably hinted that there was maybe booing at Liverpool, but Bethpage was a level, and I know it's last year, but where do you at where modern fans have got to, like the waste management and Bethpage?
I think that's a one-off. Waste management is fun, and if you play in that tournament, you can't expect peace and quiet. And you've got to embrace it, and it's.
But you go there with that mentality.
Yeah. Any other tournaments, you expect a reasonable amount of decorum.
Yeah.
Where people will be quiet, especially on putting and stuff. But you kind of got to block the noise out. As much as it might appear quiet on the television, you know, there's always that background music and whatever. And you've just got to, get in your bubble a little bit. But I'd never boo, and I find it really hard to want someone to miss, even though sometimes you do secretly.
Yeah.
It's just not in the nature how we were brought up in golf. You know,
it's an etiquette sport, isn't it?
You'd never say out loud,
even
if it was going to cost you money on a bet or something. But it's just an etiquette where you know, golf's such a hard sport, and you've got to have empathy for anyone who plays this game professionally.
Sickos, aren't they?
Yeah.
Was
masochists.
Competition never on the cards for yourself?
No.
Was it not?
No. You, as I say, especially when I went to Germany, and you saw guys who were great players. One of the lads, I say, was top amateur in Australia, ahead of all the people like Allenby at the time and Craig Parry, but never quite made it. Played a bit of European, but just a baller, an absolute striker of the ball. And you play 9 holes with him. It literally was 9 holes. It's like, I'm never going to make it.
Really?
This guy didn't make it. I've got no chance.
Yeah.
And then his brother came across from Australia, Jason Evans, and the other lad, John Evans, and he was just as good.
Really?
And he said, we've got another mate called Craig Anson, who's quite a big teacher now online and stuff, and he just come off Aussie tour. And the three of them are like just banging it down there. Oh my God. So that would quickly, I best, get into teaching and stay teaching. But, I love to play. I still...
we've seen what you're like.
Get out there, and I'll still hit balls and kid myself into it. And still go to bed at night thinking, if I could just do that. It's almost too much knowledge sometimes is a bad thing. Yeah,
I think we've briefly spoken to Paul about that, to be fair. He can look into the numbers a little bit too much because he knows them as a fitter, and yourself when you have that just lull in the day where you get to watch your own golf swings.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. It's like Paul's the worst, but where he'll bomb something down there, go, spun a bit too much.
I'll never forget the first time. Do you remember the first time you and I played at Blundell's?
Yeah.
He hit 4 iron, and he on the first. It's a tightish par 4. I love that start hole. If you don't like it, but he was right at the bottom of the hill, and so I was high out the face. And I was like, you've got
he never
40
flushes
yards
one.
into the green. Like,
He never flushes one.
tool, innit?
He'll bang it 320 and go a bit out the toe.
Yeah.
I think it's just, yeah.
I think he does that to have one on us
I
as well.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, he's horrible.
He's horrible.
No, he's good. But so obviously you've resigned yourself to not competing, except when you like kicking me.
Yes.
And like you're giving your education well. You're working on your craft. How do you develop as a coach? How do you? Because obviously as a when you're playing and competing, you've got stats. You won, you didn't. You get fairways, you didn't.
Yeah.
How do you think that out as a coach?
Hard to measure. Is you planful?
Is there just a couple of games out there you laugh and going, you still suck?
keep yourself open to keep trying to learn, keep improving. Don't think you know it all. Always be open to new things. Yeah. I mean, it does go a little bit on the feedback, definitely, but it's a hard one to measure. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's luck of the draw sometimes. The people in front of you, are they willing to learn you? But yeah, just keep trying to be open and think you can still get better.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing.
Because, the other thing that must have been difficult was, did the golf game almost change overnight when the Pro V1 came out and people realised you hit down? Because we joke about some players I play with and their golf swing is very sweepy.
Yeah.
And essentially that was the way people were taught to be taught. Like, so the coaches were taught, right, this is how you teach people to play golf. And then all of a sudden, you're now pounding the golf ball into the floor, going to the extreme of Bryson,
The
was
ball
that...
did change, but I went through going from persimmon to metal. And
Okay.
That was a game changer.
Was it? Yeah.
More of a game changer.
Right. So why is that?
Oh, it's just totally different. Off the face, the material, club repairs changed.
Oh, really?
That's what I learned, how to whip a golf club, to build the face up, shave it down, all that. And then overnight that became defunct because then they brought out, TaylorMade brought out metal clubs and all of a sudden graphite shafts came in.
Yeah.
They were a real game changer.
Right.
For the average player, definitely more. That big-headed, you go back to the old wood and try and hit them now.
Yeah.
And that's the argument. Maybe some of the skills being lost because, but you'd think anything that makes this game easier is okay with me.
My conversation on that one.
Don't make it too hard. And look, the blades thing is the jury's still out on that. Maybe not pure blades, but you might not be able to have to use these massive chunky clubs. And then maybe learning with juniors, learning with slightly smaller heads, I don't know. But anything that makes this game is not too easy. This idea of rolling it back, that's by people who aren't out in the trenches seeing the average guy struggling with it. You can make it as easy as you want and it'd still be hard.
Well, again, shown without going back to putting, that we've brought mallets in, the easier way to put. But I'm a lab user, massive lab advocate. Putting stats are only getting a little bit better, if not a little bit worse.
Yeah.
It's obviously
that's
not...
a tour stat, isn't it? So I think maybe for the average guy, certainly the zero torque seemed to be keeping it a lot squarer through impact, where guys could do anything with the old blades. I think it's more on tour, that stuff.
Right, okay.
Where, maybe they shouldn't be using all the time. But I think that's more to do with aim points and everything else, the missing the big picture or seeing the picture.
So you were saying though about obviously the fun of like shaving these woods down, went to metal. How did that change coaching?
I don't think it did dramatically.
Loads. Okay.
No. I mean, it became a bit easier to, they could hit the toe at the end of an old wooden golf club. Yeah. So it kind of became easier for us in a way because people became more motivated to carry on playing. Because it did seem a while when I first started that you had to be pretty talented to get any good at this game. Where the modern clubs do allow people to get down to single figures a lot easier.
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. No, I agree. You know how I feel.
Persimmon at my bay and try and use it.
If that's what it takes, I'll use it. You know that.
Yeah, you would as well.
Yeah,
but I think for the guy who's maybe not super talented and picks up any sport, it's now you can get the ball round and enjoy golf. Yeah, and anything that makes people enjoy the game, sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree. For the greater percentage, it should just be about let's get a good walk, get out there for 4 or 5 miles, get out there with your mates, just clear your head, go and enjoy it. Don't make it painful. Like, it doesn't need to be. It's hard enough.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, it sounds very idyllic, doesn't it? I say that beginning every round.
Yeah, no,
But
you
it
do
only
actually.
takes one hole. You only have to birdie that last, and you're sitting there with a beer going, when are we playing again?
It's not birdie in the last, it's birdie in the first. Let's talk West Lancs for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Twice
yeah.
we played it on the bounce. Both birdied that first hole.
Here we go.
Yeah. And then we got kicked in the teeth on the
West
second.
Lancs and the winds. Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, great course.
In fact, that's a great place to go to. Are you links golfer, Heathland or Parkland? Big debate for me. You know where I stand.
Love links.
Yeah.
Love links. Play a lot of links. Love the feel of it. I find Parkland easier, probably.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, your lie is going to be easier. Especially in Germany, they kept those fairways long. It was like playing off a cushion.
Really?
It was like your 3 was teed up.
Right, so we're going there next,
know,
by the way. We're not staying here. We're
you
going.
love it. And that was a lot easier, but you get on a bare lie links, but then it's more kind of rewarding when you strike it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I love the links where you do have to run it in. But if you ask me to shoot on to par, I'd probably go around the
Parkland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just fly it.
I was scared of links for a long time. Winds, obviously, was my biggest nemesis.
Yeah.
But I think if people took up links golf a little bit earlier, yes, you can end up with a swing that probably is overprotecting sometimes, so sawing them off, flighting them too much. But I think your ball striking will be so much better.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be good.
It's like, unfortunately, we can't practice off grass ranges most of the time. But I know chipping, I'd usually go and try and find some bare lies and the worst lie possible and think, right, if I can get it off that, so yeah.
I had that with, played Delamere with Sonny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really good. There's a video coming, actually, it's really good. He had a chip and he was like saying it was tight, and I was like, yeah, it's nice that, isn't it? He went, no. I was like, yeah, like, I see a tight lie with the channel, like, yeah, I love that.
You should enjoy that.
Yeah, you should, honestly. And he's a good chipper, by the way. His game's on.
Yeah,
his game's really good at the minute.
Swinging, it's good.
But I'm like, yeah, I love a tight lie. I'm looking forward to him. Like, it's a challenge, isn't it? It's just, if you hit that, that's as hard as golf's ever going to get.
Look, I mean, if you're good at chipping and a tight lie, there's going to be no grass trapped in between ball and blade. So, you know,
no excuse as well.
Yeah, as long as your nerves are still kind of there.
Yeah.
That's where you can get a bit kind of nervy. But I love tight lies.
Especially in competition vibes, it'd be a bit more difficult.
Yeah. Again, your confidence, commit and all that, that's where you have to be good chippers.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So you like links, you find Parkland easy. Where do you stand on Heathland? Before you come too quick, Formby, Ormskirk.
Yeah, I love them both.
They're Heathland golf courses.
Yeah, I'd say Delamere as well. Delamere's proper Heathland. Ormskirk doesn't always feel heathy, because heathy originally is quite bouncy. It's still bouncy.
Okay. So it's just I do find, for me, they're like the prettiest. It's the almost the best of both. It's often dry, not as dry as links, but there's always, I don't know what the tree is, but like the Formby tree, like are they like pine? That, I just think that's just stunning on a golf course.
Yeah, it is. Formby's my favourite course.
Ultimately, so good, isn't it?
Because I do find it probably a bit easier than West Lancs in the wind.
You find it easier in the wind?
No, than West Lancs in the wind.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Formby's pretty. You get a bit more shelter.
When was the last time you played? It was a while.
It's a year ago.
The 9th, 430, par 4 off the yellows. Yeah. It's always into wind.
Yeah.
It's a par 5 for me. Like, it's only ever a par 5.
Low snapper.
If you can teach me
chase
that.
It down.
You've been trying for 4 years to teach me that move. It's not happening.
It's a shot. I've got in the bag.
I love that. As we get into that, so speaking a little bit about competition, about my game, do you think I'll ever be a good competitive golfer?
And you kind of are now. Depends what level you're looking at. You're looking at kind of, it scratches that thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's yeah. My goal's obviously a daft one, that, and I will always push further. But do you think, but the people can get to scratch, especially nowadays. A scratch golfer now isn't a scratch golfer. Like, that was a competitive golfer.
The handicap thing, I think, has changed, hasn't it? I'm not totally up to date with how the handicap system works nowadays. But
it's the fact that people did it in competition, and I know you and I do a lot of work in trying to create. Again, I'm sure people who also took the game up, like, we lack feel in golf, and
Yeah, it's a lot easier. Look, if you start as a kid, you can see it in lessons. If a guy comes in and said, "Oh, I played quite well between the ages of 10 and 14," you can see it, even though he's now 25.
Yeah.
So starting the game later is harder, definitely. But it's an achievable goal what you've got. I can see it. I'm looking at the improvement you've made. You're a competitive golfer now. If you're getting into single figures, it's like in the top 5% in the world of golfers.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something I harp on. I mean, I'm like crying in that I'm top 10 at the
No,
minute. Top 10,
it's
yeah,
true. There's a lot of bad golfers out there.
Yeah, that's...
It's a nice stat. It's a real nice stat.
Yeah.
You're a competitive golfer now, and you keep the ball in play, and you know your game.
But okay, for me, so your ideal day, I know you'll sometimes put yourself down. You are a very, very good golfer, super consistent, never really above like a 75, can go under. But you're my coach, and you're getting me against you as you're separating. What's it going to take for me to beat you? Probably
a bit better off the tee.
Okay.
Because not around the green. If you're around the green, it's good. Good putt. You're good. You don't really three putt.
Really, no.
Chipping can get a little bit better. Iron plays pretty good.
Long irons are a struggle.
Long irons, yeah, the longer.
I still get
the longer stuff.
Soft, yeah,
the longer stuff.
You'd be happy to hear I only missed one fairway the other day. It meant to 3 off the tee, but I did miss.
I don't want to play you when you're missing just one fairway. That'd be, yeah. That longer stuff off the tee, more consistent, longer irons to stand there with the 5 irons. And and 3 woods off the deck and whatever. Yeah. But going into the green's pretty good now.
It's getting better, definitely getting better. Yeah. And again, I think for anybody that's ever trying, I think it's been a lot of hard work between the two of us. You've been as patient as I have in this.
No, I've pointed you in the right direction. If you put the work in, and it just shows for anyone out there, it's not an overnight thing. Graft.
Yeah, what's been 2.5 years, I think we met.
Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah, I remember the old videos.
A lot of lessons. Jesus, there's been a lot of lessons there, to be fair. But what's been, honestly, and if I could ever say to anybody, definitely book in with you to fill your time is nuts. But it is fantastic what you've done to, one, build confidence in something where I've lacked in confidence, but to keep a guided path with. Pretty honest, to be fair. There was a point where my golf got to a better place, and you were very honest and said, you can hit a shelf the way you're doing this.
Yeah.
Do you want to endure the pain of going for a change? You could make me better on that journey, but it was going to stop at some point. Yeah. Or do we want to rebuild it? And we've kind of took on a new challenge winter. Which
we could have just stuck to let's just play a slice for the rest of our lives. And left.
Well, that was what was it? You were talking about my videos, and it was that ball's moving too much now.
Yeah. That's the problem with you being online. I get up in the morning and go, it's just going to the right again. It's just, but we'll bring a left miss in now.
Oh, don't write it. Don't bring that up. Don't you bring that up.
No, just, look, there's nothing wrong with that sometimes, and you've got to appreciate what you want out of it. And I've got loads of guys who are like, that's fine, they just want to enjoy it, play once a week on a Saturday with the mates, and let's just get the best you can be with that without going in, breaking it bloody well down and stuff. But you want to get to that level, and
I want to beat you. I want to compete with Paul.
Yep.
I know they may be daft goals, but one day,
why not?
It's gonna be a great goal.
Definitely.
Do you enjoy working with? And there's not that you dislike the other, but do you enjoy working with people like myself that go, no, this is a strict goal. That's my dedicated time. And do you like seeing that you can do these quicker fixes, but probably change someone's outlook on golf pretty quickly, and they've just had so much more fun?
Everyone's got something. I mean, look, it's dependent on skill level, kind of hand coordination. It is tough. If you've never played any sports and you decide to take up golf later on in life, you have to lower expectations. Love teaching a beginner.
Do you?
Love beginner.
Yeah.
Just straight away, grip, stance, get the fundamentals, the boring stuff, but it's massive where you get going back to that guy who's playing off 12, who's been playing all his life, comes in with you're not going to be changing that grip unless it's going to produce something really positive.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, right, this will feel uncomfortable and it'll get worse. It's like, he's not going to carry on doing that.
Yeah.
So it has to be, if you're ever going to make a grip change, it has to be something super positive to counter that. Almost instantaneously, But, if possible, you got to work. You just got to work and kind of appreciate what this guy will give. and you know how far he'll go down.
Yeah. Well, you'll have the true benefit of both of them Wednesday coming up. So
Yes.
2 lads who work with me.
Yeah.
One has genuinely, I think, touched the golf club 4 times in his life, all on the same day. And the other that is like he gets the ball around the golf course, but has played no more than 10 times in 10 years. And again, was a childhood played as a kid.
Okay, yeah.
And so you've got, and I think they'll have come like double lesson, and it's going to be really fun to see how you look at it afterwards and go, yeah, actually, which one do I really kind of buy into?
Yeah, one you might have to work with what he's got, and the other one's a bit more of an open.
An open book. He's literally, you can mess him up as much as you want.
But it is nice when there's no real bad habits in there. You think, right from the word go, let's get it right.
Yeah, that's a great habit, actually. So online golf can definitely build them. Me and you've fought my demons of learning to play online.
Yeah.
Is there a space for it?
I mean, it's great for someone like myself, where we had to travel across to another country to go and watch a seminar. And it's there where you can just watch, you know, especially the kind of the detailed stuff where it's Manzella or Sasha or Mackenzie or whatever. These are it's physics.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It just destroys your average game.
Oh, really?
There's some good guys out there. I think it makes golf, it gives it to a wider audience, definitely. And it's good in that respect. But the amount of people that come in the bay, it's like they've gone down that rabbit hole. The heads everywhere with so many different, because I'll tell one thing to one guy and they'll be totally different to the next guy. So you might jump on that video that's right for you, but it's pot luck.
Yeah.
It really is.
I'll never forget the fact that I was told you should hit down on the golf ball, ignoring that my arms were rock solid straight. I was quite stacky.
Yeah,
I was like, but I took what I'd got from the lesson, which is hit down on the golf ball. So the divot was this deep and long. It was, and I think that's the dangerous part. And I think I'm always an advocate of learning, like question always. But what I've always done with you, I think, is ask you what should I look at more than let it run away with it. You guided me into AMG, athletic motion golf. Really good lads, very technical. And after about 6 episodes, I realised they're just saying the complicated versions of what you tell me. There's
I'll make no bones about it. You can steal some stuff from those lads. It's all evidence based.
No, but you actually,
it's very good
often
stuff.
I've seen. We've had lessons, because now, especially now that we record them, and 2 weeks later, that's the conversation they're having, but in a technical way. Yeah. And it's fantastic. I always say to you, there's a room for you online, because you wait till our match is online. But just because it makes it very easy to understand. Someone like Georgia Ball, local girl, doing really well, she actually makes education very simple. Now, I'm not sure what she's like as a coach to work with one-to-one, but I know that there's people that she's made their swings functional without being too detrimental, so it can fit in the middle. It's finding the balance, I know, but
just find a coach that suits you and you get on with. You know.
Well, yeah, we're mates now, aren't we? Let's be honest. You must get annoyed now how much you see me.
Still tell you off occasionally. So I mean, look, you say there's a lot of coaches, great coaches out there. Just find one that's suits you and you feel comfortable with. Yeah. And you see some improvements. You know, that's ultimately.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Have you got room? Have you got space for more? Yeah.
During the day. Never, the evening ones are just.
It's impossible to get in with you, isn't it, really? It's tough. If people do have time, though, genuinely get down to T1 Sports Group and True Fit Golf Centre to check John out, because the daytimes is about the only time, if you're going to get a space, it'll be in the daytime. What about it's a good 10 days 2 weeks in it to get in. Which is good. Best problem I'll ever have is not being able to see you, because I'm made up.
Always find that.
What courses are you wanting and needing to play this year?
Played Royal Lytham.
Oh, really?
Weirdly enough, yeah.
Right, okay.
Played everything else. I'm playing JCB soon, which will be a nice experience.
There's just no point when you say that it's going to be okay with me.
Kindly invited it in April to play there. But I mean, I should play. It's only down the road. Lytham, I never played it for some reason, and I'll jump on, played SNA a million times, and So
Let's get that. Yeah,
That'd
okay.
be a nice one to get in, and then a little trip around Scotland would be good.
Yeah, so we've threatened that. I mean, do you think that'll be a good laugh?
Be brilliant.
Yeah, we'll
proper laugh.
so just to get an idea of what that is, so we are looking at getting a camper van.
Yeah.
4 of us, myself and 3 professional golfers for some reason. Con, by the way, who's going to be funny.
Yeah.
You'll have seen the night golf video, and Paul, which again, another one of my best mates. Really, between the 3 of us, we'll have a laugh, and then we'll just put up with Con. But so it's going to be Con and myself against you and Paul.
Me and Paul always lose, but go on, yeah.
Well, it's all following that golf night.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And we're going to try and tie in with some nice hotels that the winners sleep in the hotel and the losers sleep in the camper van as we get through a couple of courses.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant. We'll have to get some dates together for that.
No, I'd love that. Yeah, that'd be good.
Is there anywhere up there that we need to really look for that's not obviously extortionate, but where... you've got a head cover. What's the head cover you've got?
Cruden Bay.
Cruden Bay.
Yeah. Quirky course. Brilliant. I spent a week up there as a kid and loved it, and really got me more motivated to play golf. So I'll always have the head cover, and that's on the coast, on the east coast, and not super expensive. Look, when I played it, there was an honesty box on the first tee.
Wow.
It was just kind of unknown, even though they have had historically a lot of good like old tournaments there. But I think it's come up a little bit more, but still relatively good value for money. So Cruden would be nice to get in there. But we might have a mate who can get us on Glen Eagle, so we'll quite happily go across the other side, no problem at all.
I may have a subtle way to get us onto Trump Ailsa.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about the hotel, but we may get away into
we'll
there.
all sleep in the camper van, it's fine. Yeah.
We'll have to do camper van and tent that night.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. No, it'll be a good trip wherever. There's so many courses up there. They don't have to be the best.
Yeah.
Most expensive.
I love Scottish people as well.
Yeah.
Excluding our beautiful friend that comes to the shop all the time. I absolutely...
It immediately came to mind.
Yeah, I absolutely love him, by the way. He has me in stitches every time. But I love Scottish people as well. I can't wait for it. I had my stag do up there, so I can't wait to get...
For Liverpool and Glasgow, there's always been that affinity. And they do get on.
If we get to Glasgow, are you a whiskey man?
No, shouldn't be, but occasionally I am.
Oh, right. Yeah. So there's this bar, and I'm not sure if people are aware of it. Hopefully it goes mental because it means people have watched this. But the Pot Still. So we ended up there for my brother-in-law's stag do. Mine was Edinburgh, his was Glasgow. And you walk in there in this big wooden frame, absolutely stunning. Must be, honestly, hundreds of years old. Probably older than America, this place. Stunning. And thousands of bottles. And you tell them the sort of drinks you like, and they find the whiskey to suit your palate. Wow. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm that poor with whiskey. They didn't give me any. I wasn't feeling great. And I had Angus Joris bitters with lemonade. No. Is that like the team poison for when your stomach's off? Yeah.
Some of the nice whiskies, you hardly feel them going down.
We'll have to give that a go, maybe. Yeah, maybe another forfeit of some sort. Imagine Con on whiskey. I can't see it. Do you reckon? Yeah.
South Africans they can drink.
Yeah. In fact, that's actually somewhere he'd spoken about. We need to get over there as well.
That would be a good one as well. Yeah. A lot of good courses.
There's too many good golf courses, isn't there?
Oh, you could go on and on and on. Do a whale trip.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Right, so it's been a pleasure. Before we end up, though, there's one bit that we talk about so much in the shop. We're going to get against the grain. Oh. Yeah, so against the grain, it's a hot take in golf. Maybe not everyone's going to agree with you on. And I'm going to start with, just as an example, because we've briefly flirted with this idea today. I think all competing pros should be playing with blades, a bladed putter, and like the smallest head driver that their manufacturer makes. For me, it's hard to the likes of Tiger Woods that should still not be playing golf, will still turn up with traditional loft irons, all bladed putter, everything, and compete. Okay, he's not what he was, but if you can't shoot records and scores like he did with that equipment,
I suppose there is that.
That's a yeah. Do you know, like there's no God. Colin Morikawa's game's looking superb again at the minute, but he's using, I think it was 2 years ago, he used a max driver. Like, he's getting help with the driver. Should you not just go, well, maybe your technique needs to change?
I think...
For this is for the elite, not for general.
It is nice where the guys are using the same clubs as the pros. So, they can almost, I've got those irons and blah, blah, blah.
Could those idiots not be the same as me, though, and just use the painful ones that you shouldn't use?
I mean, it would be interesting. I don't think it'd make much difference.
Do you think?
No.
Yeah.
Define the middle of the face.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you're using a blade or a cavity back. Smaller headed driver, maybe. You might dial it in a little bit to keep her in play.
And would you need to... I guess it's another way of arguing, do you need to roll the ball back? Because all these things, although that be an LS driver, or they tend to be the lower spinning drivers, they actually make them more difficult to control, so they probably more spin on.
Yeah, there's definitely that.
So you're essentially rolling the ball back by giving them maximum loft for a 7-iron. Like Bryson's 7-iron is a 5-iron in my bag.
Yeah.
Just putting back traditional lofts and say you've got to learn to deliver the club in a different way. Could that be a fun leveler?
The argument for all this is that the courses are getting destroyed and, you know, they're shooting under par, but ultimately to watch them competition of them coming down the back nine, of somebody trying to beat another person, whether they're making birdies or pars or whatever, that's the real joy of watching the Masters, when they're having a duel down the back nine.
Yeah.
Now,
the score's almost irrelevant,
you'd have to change a hell of a lot. There'd be a totally different equipment for you know, looking at just for the sake of that score. And the average guy is not, I say, not finding this game too easy. So they're not going out and shooting 65 on this old course. It's just for that one weekend a year where the pros play. You're going to change a whole industry just because they're beating up at a classic course.
The 0.01% of players are.
Of course, the course records are going to be broken, but they are trying to lengthen it a bit. Don't agree with the long par threes. But yeah, you just knee-jerk reaction, and of course...
A good way to measure, truthfully, if it's the pros are good or the courses are easy, would be the last tee time, put a scratch, a 10 handicap and a 20 cap, put them out there and just watch them suffer.
Watch them suffer, and then, this is how it...
You go, actually, it's just because the other lads are really good, not because the courses are easy.
They are quality nowadays. The depth where, you know, Jack, best player ever and all that, probably was, but there wasn't the depth where there's 50-odd guys who can win every week.
Oh, it's scandalous.
If they're on, they've got a good chance of winning. And it's such a hard thing to do, and it's amazing that still guys still like Scheffler dominate when there's so much depth. You know.
It's more of a credit to how good he is than anything else, isn't
Skillful.
it? But yes, that would be my hot take, and I know our mates it's going to upset. But I do think it's tough to compare. Again, talking about comparing against Seve, against Nick, like if you're using different equipment, it's hot. You can't compare the two.
Yeah.
Whereas if you say, right, everybody's using, imagine a Persimmon Day, like one tournament where everyone's using traditional equipment with hickory shafts. Like, imagine going, right, no, it's different because they haven't been practicing to use them, but to go, no, you're getting put up against Bobby Jones today. Like, it'd be fascinating.
You have to dial the length back on the course and get Rory with an old ball, and I think he's about 260 with the Persimmon, something like that. It's at 270, and it would be interesting to see what he scores.
And that's my logic behind saying they should all use more of a traditional blade or their manufacturer's blade, and just to be able to go, well, this is we can compare the ages a little bit more.
Again, though, you're changing a whole kind of industry because just for the sake of, okay, are they any better than the boys?
It ultimately doesn't matter, does it?
But I'd just be guarding against trying to say changing this whole equipment industry for the sake of that.
Okay. So what would be your hot take in golf?
Which one?
How are you getting against the grain? And
I don't think it'd be against the grain with any coaches, but the amateur golfers, stop keeping your head down.
What do you mean?
Stop trying to keep your head down after impact. Nobody lifts their head up. Nobody. I've been videoing swings for over 20 years, and I actually try sometimes to get people, but you'll hear it go down the range. Oh, I lifted my head up. Oh, you lifted your head up. It's like, no, you didn't. Honestly, just video him. Look at it. Yeah, and most amateurs will keep their head down far too long, which stops any kind of getting through the ball rotation. Stop trying to keep your head down.
Stop trying to keep your head down.
Yes.
That is like almost the stacky way. You go almost getting lower trying to not lift your head up.
I say it's post impact. Look at the ball as you hit it, and as the ball goes up, let your head swivel up, let your body come up. Stop trying to keep your head down. I'll see guys till the golf club's around the back of the neck and the head's still trying to keep down. And you're like, there's no wonder you can't get through it.
Have I ever been guilty of
But
this?
they'll still say, and then the head will snap up quick at the end. They go, oh, lift my head up. Look at the video. Just watch, try it. And then you could try and get guys to say, I want you to lift your head up.
Yeah.
And they can't so half the time.
You do watch some YouTube, actually. Have you seen that Brad Dalkey at all?
A little bit, yeah.
He literally comes up. He comes up and then drops. And oh my, he's got a powerful swing.
Head swivel to Val, Sorensen, DJ. They let the head swivel through impact, and they never actually see the ball at impact.
It probably makes space, doesn't it? I guess, like
it creates more room for you to swing through the golf shot. But it's that one where it stops, where the body actually has to stop moving in an effort to try and keep it. But you walk down the range and everyone,
Have you ever?
Yeah, left my head came up too early. It was like, no, it didn't.
Have you ever heard me say it?
Probably at one point.
I'm scared. I think I might have.
Very good. I just bite my tongue and say and try to gently explain it.
Just hit me next time.
But now you put me on the spot. Nobody's lifting the head up.
No. I like that. Okay.
It never happens, and you're all wrong.
I love that. If that's not a way to end it.
You ask any coach and he'll say, he'll agree, honestly.
Yeah, okay.
Anyone who's looking at it day to day would say,
Well,
and you'd never hear, keep
I
your head
love
down.
that. If that's ever a way to end it, though, you're all wrong. I'm into that.
Brilliant.
I love it. Do you know what? Thank you so much. Have you enjoyed it?
Yes.
You forget that there, don't you?
Out of my comfort zone, but
I love that.
Yeah, it's
my
good
famous phrase, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Thank you. Mate, I love that. That was class. I love that you reckon Oscar as well. Massive.
We're straight from the range.
Legend, thank you.
How long did it go for?
An hour and 10.
No.
Yeah, flies, doesn't it?
It does in a way, doesn't it?